I want to show you how to flip cars for a profit without having a dealer's license. So what we're going to cover here, I want to show you how to find a startup loan, where to find vehicles to flip, how to buy low, how to complete the title. We'll talk about a bill of sale, how to register your vehicle, clearly blue book value, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how to sell that vehicle for top dollar. So first of all, you're going to need to find a car or truck to flip. Let every person you talk to know that you are looking for a car to purchase. Tell your friends, family, coworkers that you're looking to buy a car, and maybe you don't want to buy a vehicle from a dealer. You might even have better luck by checking Facebook Marketplace. You can still find vehicles on eBay or even in your local online classifieds. But for this scenario, let's say we're going to try Craigslist. And let's say for this scenario that you have about $1,500 cash to purchase a vehicle. And the reason I say you must have cash is by far your best negotiating tool during a buy. Many persons won't take a check, and many persons that you deal with will not take Venmo or PayPal. So have $1,500 cash to buy your first vehicle to flip. And I know there are some of you watching this may not have $1,500 laying around. So I want to show you a couple of ways you can come up with $1,500. If you're like me, the last thing you want to do is ask to borrow that money from friends or family. So let's go ahead and find us a short-term loan if this is something that's helpful for you. And you can go to Google and type in short-term loan. And as you can see, there are several companies right here that will give you a short-term loan on the same day. They'll wire transfer that into your checking account. Another thing you can do is you can jump onto eBay. eBay has a great ranking system now for you to get loans and real short-term loans. So, if you got horrendous credit, you're probably going to be able to get a loan here. And another thing you can do is, pawn several things that are laying around your basement that are being unused. This is a great time to gather up some old tools that you never use, maybe some old musical instruments, or you could even clean out your basement and sell some old stereo equipment on eBay. So you just have to come up with that $1,500 to invest in your first vehicle. So let's go ahead and jump here on Craigslist. And let's say you want to, let's say you're in Chicago, and obviously this will work in any city or town you live in. So let's just take a look at vehicles for sale in Chicago. Let's go ahead and type in ASAP in the search box here, and you're going to see many, many vehicles that have the term ASAP, which means this person wants to sell that vehicle as soon as possible. So, also there's some other terms that you can use here in a moment. But let's go ahead and take a look at this GMC Envoy. As you can see, it's priced a little bit higher than the $1,500 that you want to spend, but they have entered the term ASAP, which means they're probably willing to negotiate, and you're going to find some of the vehicles that someone needs to sell as soon as possible. They're going to probably need a little bit of work, but you can also type in the term needs some work, and here's just a few vehicles that you'll be able to locate here. As you can see, this is a four-wheel drive. Brand new parts, but this particular vehicle needs a key FOB, so you cannot lock or unlock the door. So this is your first sign that owner is willing to negotiate. Also, you see it does contain ASAP in the ad. So this customer obviously needs to sell this vehicle as soon as possible, which means they're probably going to accept a lower offer than the asking price. You can also search for OBO in the ads, which is going to show that owner is allowing to take that stated price or best offer. You can also type in the word needs work. Needs work is a great selling tool for a person because they are going to be willing to negotiate because it needs work, and that shows you that vehicle is probably going to be had for a lot less than the asking price. So maybe it needs tire, paint, shocks, or anything like that. Anytime you see OBO or ASAP or needs work, it's very likely that owner will take a low offer than the asking price. And if you're going to make money selling cars, you need to buy a vehicle as low as you can and sell it as high as you can. Remember, it's just like a stock. You need to buy that vehicle as low as you can and sell that vehicle as high as you can. And also on a side note, this ad is pretty basic. So when we're reselling that vehicle, I definitely recommend making a much more detailed ad with a lot more selling terms that can psychologically lead the person that you're selling that vehicle to pay you more for that vehicle. And we'll talk about that here in just a few moments. So the first thing you want to do when you contact that person about this vehicle, you want to ask the very important question, is the title in your name? I want to repeat this very important information. As the person that is selling the vehicle, ask them, is the title in your name? Very important, is the title in your name? If they say something like, yes, the title's in my name, I paid it off a couple of years ago, I've got the title right here in my hand, that is excellent. That is exactly what you're looking for. Okay, and that shows that the person that is trying to sell you that vehicle does have the legal selling rights, and that's great. That's what you're looking for. Now go make that buy. Now, on the other hand, if, let's say, for example, you ask that customer if the title's in their name and they hesitate a little bit and they say something like, well, no, the title's not in my name. I bought it for my neighbor a couple of months ago and she just signed the back of it on the title, and you can just come over here and buy it from me. That's what we call a blank title. And the person attempting to sell you this vehicle has illegally asked the previous owner to sign the back of the title. But they've also illegally left all the purchaser's information blank, like you see in this example. And I want to blow this up here. The person attempting to sell you this vehicle has skipped the payment of sales tax when they purchased the vehicle from the previous owner. Every state in our country requires a person that purchases a vehicle to pay motor vehicle sales tax on that vehicle unless that person has a dealer's license. And we'll talk about selling vehicles with the dealer's license in just a moment. So that seller might try to convince you to come on over, buy the car, and just fill out the buyer's information like you purchased the car directly from a person whose name appears on the front of the title, even though that person is not even there. You know, they might even tell you, don't worry, they buy and sell vehicles with blank titles all the time. This is what it looks like. All the purchaser's information has been left blank, but the person that's selling you the vehicle asked the previous owner just to sign and handprint their name. And this title is illegal in all 50 states. In most states, you'll be charged with at least a minimum if you possess one open title. Many states now have bumped that up to a felony. Even having one blank title can be a felony. So don't ever, get into this business of buying, selling vehicles for a profit and get charged with a felony. Never ever purchase a vehicle from a person whose name is not printed on the title. This is a very risky way of doing business and could lead to you being charged with a felony. So when you have established that person selling the vehicle is the rightful owner and their name is printed on the title, let's go make that buy. Now, when you've established that the vehicle is in the name of the person selling it, then you're going to set up a time to view that vehicle, and you are always going to arrive right on time, and you're always going to bring cash. Remember, cash is your best friend. Cash offers will likely cause that seller to accept something that's well under their asking price. Before making the offer, you want to make sure and inspect that vehicle and ask that seller if the vehicle has ever had any problems while paying close attention to the seller's reaction, okay? Now, if the seller hesitates, looks around nervously and says something like, no, there's never any type of problems, then he or she's probably lying. Look them directly in the eye. If they're him-hawing around and they won't give you a direct answer, they probably have some problems with that. But, if you ask that customer if they've ever had problems with that vehicle and they give you a very confident, no, I've never had a single problem with this car since I purchased it, it's always ran great, while looking you directly in the eye, they're probably telling you the truth. But one of the best tips I can give you is to use a vehicle code reader. And I want to talk about this for a moment. These things are like gold. You can get one of these. Look at this one on Amazon here. This is a basic one. It's only $18.99. This is a basic code reader. Here's one that's a little bit more advanced. This is a $69 one. And then, if you really want to get an advanced one like that they use in repair shops, you can invest quite a bit more. But these are, to me, like gold. And you can hook it up right behind the steering wheel of any vehicle that is newer than 1996, and you'll be able to read any major problems with that vehicle. And another great thing, if it's just an O2 sensor readout, maybe your state doesn't require O2 inspections, you can go ahead and reset those as well with one of these. So, they start at $18. They go up quite a bit, but don't get into the business of flipping vehicles for a profit without a vehicle diagnostic reader. Okay, so once you've established the person is the person selling the vehicle, it has their name on the title and it's a good mechanical condition, then you're ready to make an offer. When you're making an offer, mention what you're going to have to do to make that vehicle ready without making unnecessary negative comments about that vehicle. We're going to shoot a lowball offer first. And remember, this person needs to sell this vehicle ASAP. They got to sell this vehicle as soon as possible, and they may be in need of immediate cash. And you can always bring up your offer after your initial offer. And remember, this is the seller's personal car. And, negative comments about the vehicle should never be stated because they could be taken personally by the seller. So, use some couth here, I guess I would say, when you are telling that customer what you need to do to that vehicle. Remember, the ad stated it needs an FOB, and you're probably going to find some other issues with that vehicle that are not posted in the ad. But you're going to go ahead and get the vehicle taken care of and ready to drive. So remember to be positive. Just say something like, you've kept this car in excellent condition, but I'm going to need to put on some new tires, get a new FOB, fix this broken tail light, and maybe even install a new stereo. And then you make your offer. And you say something like, I can give you $1,250 cash. Will that work for you? Then say absolutely nothing. You want to say absolutely nothing, because when you make an offer and stay silent, the person who speaks first during negotiations will always lose. So you want to make your offer and then stay silent, no matter how tempting it is to interrupt that seller. Make your offer and then stay silent. Now, when you're making that offer, Like I said, you want to give it in cash. State in cash. Say, okay, remember we got $1,500 to play with here. Say something like, I can give you $1,250 cash. Will that work for you? Remember, you say nothing at all. You just let the seller respond. But, when you say something like, will you take $2,050 in $1,250 in cash, instead of would you take $1,250, would you take $1,250 is going to invite a no. Make sure that you state the offer in the full amount of $1,250 cash. This amount sounds a lot more than $1,250 or $1,250. This statement also makes the seller think if it will work for them. So you just want to say, will it work for them, instead of coming back with an automatic no to your offer. The answer you look forward to hearing will be, yes, that will work for me. Or they may say something like, well, I wasn't really wanting to sell it that low, but I need to sell it as soon as possible. Okay. If the seller states that your offer will not work for me, ask the seller what price they're expecting to receive. If their lowest price is much higher than what you're willing to pay, then thank them for their time. Always be courteous, give them a smile, and shake their hand firmly. Before you leave, always write down your counter offer on the back of your business card and tell them that your offer will stand for 2 days, and explain to them that you will be investing that cash into another vehicle in the next couple of days. And this can add a sense of urgency and very will lead that customer, that seller, to accept your last offer. Okay. You'll be surprised how many times the seller will call you shortly after the visit and accept your offer, or possibly give you a counter offer. Now think about that. Think about this. They might say, they might counter your offer at $2,000. So I think most persons selling a $2,500 vehicle that needs some work will be willing to drop that price $300 to $500, but they're going to want to buy and sell that vehicle as low as possible. So the next thing you want to do is decrease your counter offer. So we went in at $1,250. Okay. Now let's increase that. And so they come back at you and say, how about $1,400 cash? If they say that is not acceptable, then you can make your final offer of $1,500 cash. So I recommend telling that customer that you've only got $1,500 cash to invest, and always make sure that when you are doing counters that you actually decrease the counter amount each time. Always decrease the counter amount each time. Remember, your first offer was for $1,250 cash. Your second offer was for $1,400 cash. That's an increase of $150. And your final offer was for $1,500 cash, which is only an increase of $100. So by decreasing the amount that you're increasing on your offer on each counter offer, you're letting that customer know that you are very near the end of the negotiation process, and you're not going to make any more offers other than that final offer. So, if that seller says there's absolutely no way I'm selling this vehicle for anything less than the $2,500 that I've listed it on Craigslist, then there's a good chance that they may be firm on their price. But like I said, always leave that 2-day offer. Tell them to have a great day. If you don't make it on that first try, you've left a positive professional image in the mind of that seller, and they're not going to forget the respect you paid them and the compliments that you made on their vehicle. The seller's going to remember your demeanor and contact you before they call an individual that treated them without that positive professional attitude. So always keep that in mind. Always make sure that you make your decreasing counter offers. This is a very, very effective way to come to a price that you are agreeable to. And like I said, when you stay professional, no matter what, you're always going to leave that positive professional attitude with that seller. Now, let's say they've accepted that lowball offer. That's great. Go ahead and tell them to bring out that title. And the first thing you're going to need to do is make sure that you've got some type of bill of sale. Okay. Most states require that you have what is called a bill of sale. So you can go type in bill of sale, or if you're in Illinois, type in Illinois bill of sale or Texas bill of sale. And you definitely need to have something in writing. And not to scare you here, but there's laws in many states that say if you purchase a vehicle or sell a vehicle without a retail contract, which is a bill of sale, you could be in violation of the law. So you definitely want to make sure that you've always got a bill of sale on every single one of your transactions, whether you're buying a vehicle from an individual or maybe you're selling a vehicle. So do please keep that in mind. So the next thing you want to do when you're filling out that title, let's just make sure that you fill it out completely. You always want to make sure and put your name, and always make sure that customer signs their name. And here you're going to see a title from one state, and here's a title from another state. Make sure that you're always filling it out as the purchaser. You never want to leave this blank, and you always want to make sure the seller signs it as well. If there are a husband and wife's name on the front, then they both have to sign the back as well. And as you can see here, Just make sure that you're completing all the information as the buyer, and don't ever leave this without completing the information as the buyer. It's very, very important that you do that. Now, the next step that you're going to have to do is pay your motor vehicle sales tax and registration on that motor vehicle. And motor vehicle sales tax varies greatly from state to state. Some states require you pay 4% of the purchase price, and some states require 6%. And there are a couple of states that require you pay 7%. So you'll be able to do this at your DMV. But let's say your motor vehicle sales tax is 6%, and you bought this vehicle for $1,500, then you're going to pay around $90 in motor vehicle sales tax. So your state could have registration fees as well, but this will allow you to legally apply for a new vehicle to the title that you have purchased, so you will be able to resell that vehicle again. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at Blue Book here. Okay, let's say we did get this vehicle. Let's just say we got it for $1,500. Okay, let's just see, keep it. You're going to see this exact vehicle right here. Private party ranges from $2,809 to $4,822. Okay, so you got a really good deal on this. And I always recommend when you're selling a vehicle to mark it up as high as you can. I'm willing to set on a vehicle for a little bit. Be willing to come down there in a negotiation process, so you want to mark it up and think about this. We've got just a little bit of money invested in this vehicle. You made a great deal on it here, but this is your selling tool right here. It's going to be pre-printing the KBB, the Kelly Blue Book range. So definitely get this printed up. This is going to be a great selling tool for you. So do keep this in mind. So now when you're making a sell, when a customer comes in, to take a look at that vehicle, greet them with a great big smile and a handshake. Remember, your professional demeanor not only helped you on the buy, but it's going to help you on the sell. So you must treat every single person as a potential buyer. A person is wearing worn out clothes. They could be somebody that's got a great big wad of cash in their pocket. And something else that I've come to find out, when a person drives, to your house and they show up in the junkiest car you've ever seen, don't discredit them, because they're buying a new vehicle. Obviously they need a new vehicle. So you want to treat every person as a potential buyer, no matter how they're dressed, no matter how they appear. Treat every single person as a potential buyer, okay? So, they're thinking about making a very important purchase. They kind of want to be catered to. And, this is many of a person that's buying these vehicles from you. This is their second largest investment, only behind their home. So let's just say we asked $4,500 for this vehicle. Okay, we went a little bit high on it, and you are going to be willing to come down. And when you are making those sales, we're going to make those decreasing counters, just like we did on that buy. Okay, always make decreasing counters. Every single time the customer comes back, come down a little less than you did the previous time, and always stay positive, and hopefully you're going to get the vehicle sold at the right price. So let's just take a look at this, okay? We purchased this vehicle, this GMC Envoy, for $1,500. You paid $900 for an FOB. You registered and paid your tax for $90. So you sold let's say you sold it for $4,000. You made a $2,315 profit. That's a really, really great profit that you made there. Maybe your profits are not going to be high, but when you start doing this on a regular basis, you can start seeing the profit potential when you are selling motor vehicles. Now, in a personal scenario that I had, once I bought a Nissan Altima for $1,100. It needed a windshield, so I spent $225 on the windshield. It needed wheel bearings, one wheel bearing, so I spent $119 on that. So I put a little bit of money in that vehicle. I was able to lowball the seller, and I got that vehicle for $1,100, sold it for $3,700. I made a $2,256 profit on that vehicle. And that was just my own personal experience that I had here recently that I wanted to share with you, okay? Now, I do want you to be aware that states do require that you register and pay sales tax unless you have a dealer's license, okay? One thing you never ever want to do is buy a vehicle and leave the purchaser's information blank and try and resell it without paying sales tax. That is a felony in most states. So you've got to always make sure that you register and pay sales tax on that vehicle. Now, if you don't want to register and pay sales tax on that vehicle, you might look into getting a dealer's license. And getting a dealer's license is absolutely a lot easier than what you probably think it is. I've gotten calls on the phone where a person say, doesn't it take $10,000 to $20,000 to get a dealer's license? Absolutely not. There are some states that only charge $150 a year. There are some states that allow you to operate a dealership from your home, but your zoning would have to allow that. In most cases, that's not going to be the scenario. Even with a wholesale dealer, you've got to meet minimum zoning requirements. But is a dealer license right for you? I think you should definitely take a look at this, because when you start buying and selling vehicles, many states require that if you sell more than 4 to 5 vehicles in a year, they will require you to get a dealer's license. So on those profit potentials that I showed you just a moment ago, You're very limited because once you've done that 4 or 5 times in 1 year, that's your legal limit. And if you sell any more than that, you will get fines from your state. So doing that scenario I just talked to you about without a dealer's license will allow you to do that 4 to 5 times a year. If you want to sell more than 4 or 5 vehicles a year with that $2,000 to $3,000 profit, you certainly might take a look at getting a dealer's license. Now, we do offer a dealer training course. We initially sold this course at $499, then we marked it down to $249. The going rate right now is $149, and I want to show you how you can get $100 off that. Everyone's got $49 to lie around. We have 22 different video training courses that are included for that price. So I want to show you how to do this. You can go to our website, dealertraining.org. Once again, that's dealertraining.org. And you're going to click on the download training button. And as you see there, normally that price is going to be $149. Okay, so it's a $149 course. However, I'm going to let you know right now, you can get a discount on this. If you type in the code CLZ70, once again, that is CLZ70, write this down so you can get this big discount there. Type in CLZ70, and you've got to make sure and click the apply button. Make sure and click the apply button so it will change. If you don't click the apply button, you will pay that non-refundable rate of $149. So don't pay $149 on this. Make sure and enter CLZ70 and click the apply button, and then it will change the $149 charge to a $49 charge. And what you're going to see here, there are 22 different videos, several hours of startup videos, negotiation techniques, where to buy vehicles, how to get your dealer's license, what's a dealer surety bond. There are companies out there that want to give you loans to start your business. There are companies out there that want to give your customers loans as well. So hopefully this is advantageous for you. Take a look at the reviews on the website there, and don't forget to type in CLZ70 to get that $100 discount. So thank you very much for watching the video. I certainly hope that you will like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're ready to change your life and you're thinking about getting your dealer's license, if you're like me, I procrastinated for years and I bought and sold vehicles without a dealer's license. Then I finally got a dealer's license and realized I was able to take my income to a much, much higher level by selling an unlimited amount of vehicles. So if you are ready to change your life, this is something that you might want to look at. You know, we've had customers that are financially secure take their income to a whole new level with a dealer's license. And I've also helped persons that came from the worst neighborhoods in the United States rise up and achieve economic freedom. You can get a dealer's license. It doesn't cost $10,000. It can be a minimal outlay of an investment, and you can start making those $2,000 and $3,000 markups, and it will also let you get into your dealer auctions. So when you get your state's dealer license auction, dealer license, you'll be able to get into every dealer auction in the United States, every dealer auction in Canada, and every dealer auction in Mexico as well. You can take your state's dealer license and get into every single dealer auction in North America, and you're going to be able to buy those vehicles a lot lower than what individuals are selling them for. So I hope this is helpful for you, and I want to wish you the very best of luck in whatever you're doing. And if you want to get your dealer's license, now is definitely the time to do that. Thank you very much for watching the video, and good luck with your new business.